students, welcome to the wonderful world of mathematics. Today we are starting with a very interesting chapter, trigonometric function. In this session what we are going to do is about the trigonometric equation and the introduction to its solution. We all are already aware about the quadratic equation. So assuming a quadratic equation as a 3x square minus x minus 4 equal to 0. As soon as you see this equation, you already know that the factors are plus 3 and minus 4. So while writing the solution, the equation can be represented as 3x square plus 3x minus 4x minus 4 equal to 0. If you see in first and second term, the 3x is common. So I would get x plus 1 in the bracket. In third and fourth term, minus 4 is common. So I would get x plus 1 in this bracket, and this whole equation is equal to 0. So I can say that 3x minus 4 into x plus 1 is equal to 0. So I get the separate values as x plus 1 is equal to 0. Also the 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. If you observe carefully, each of these equations is in the form of x. Now comes the trigonometry. What is it exactly? If I replace x with sin x, what would the equation be? The equation would be sin x plus 1 is equal to 0 and the 3 sin x minus 4 is equal to 0. Now when you want sin x, it would be minus 1. Also sin x would be given by 4 upon 3. Now you observe x is the variable, sin is the trigonometric term. So an equation which is involving the trigonometric function of the variable is known as trigonometric equation. Now you might be wondering in your minds that for which values of x I would get sin x as minus 1. So now let us check all the values for which sin x would be minus 1. Here I have the x-axis and y-axis respectively, such that on x-axis I'm gonna get the values of sine function and y would be the complete sin x values. If I say on x-axis I have x as minus pi, you know that sine of minus pi is nothing but 0. So sine of minus pi would be 0. Sine of minus pi by 2 is given by minus 1. Sine of 0 is given by 0. Next is pi by 2. So sine of pi by 2 is given by 1. Followed by that is pi. Sine pi is 0. One more value we have is sine of 3 pi by 2 is given by minus 1. Now if you join all these points, the curve which you get is a sine wave. If you have observed carefully on your left hand side in the shaded part, you have the total period is given by 2 pi. Now that 2 pi is repeating itself. How? Observe on the right hand side. There is again the sine wave which starts from 0 and stops at 2 pi. So I can say that the sin x function repeats itself after a period of 2 pi. As a result, I can say that sin x is periodic with a period of 2 pi. So I can say sin x is repeating itself after the intervals of 2 pi. Now observe the two values, that is minus pi by 2, that is sine of minus pi by 2 is given by minus 1 and sine of the 3 pi by 2 is given by minus 1. So I can say that if x is equal to minus pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2 and all such values, it gives me the sin x as minus 1. Now there is an important part. The solution of trigonometric equation which ranges in between 0 to 2 pi are called as principal solution. In other words, for the sin x is equal to minus 1, you have to consider the values of x only in the range of 0 to 2 pi, which would give you minus 1. In this case, you will observe that sine of minus pi by 2 is also minus 1. But minus pi by 2 is out of the range of 0 to 2 pi. So the only value which you consider of x in between 0 to 2 pi is x is equal to 3 pi by 2, and hence it is called as the principal solution for sin x is equal to minus 1. Next, if an equation consists of all values, that is the solution consisting of all possible solutions of a trigonometric equation is called as general solution. That is all the values of x for which sin x would be minus 1 is called as the general solution. Example, if x is equal to minus pi by 2 or 3 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2, that is all the values of x for which sin x would be minus 1 is called as an general solution. Thank you. See you in the next module.